Welcome and thank you for joining us. Today, we gather to honor six extraordinary American legends whose lives have left an indelible mark on the worlds of art and culture. These people didn't just create, they inspired, blazed new trails, and gave us moments that will stay in our hearts for a lifetime. Marshall Brickman, renowned screenwriter, director, and musician, passed away on November 29, 2024, at the age of 85 in New York City. His multifaceted career, spanning film, television, and theater, left a profound mark on the arts, and his scripts and works have inspired generations of audiences and professionals. Marshall was born on August 25, 1939, in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, to American parents Pauline and Abraham Brickman. The family returned to the United States in 1943, and Marshall grew up in Brooklyn, New York. Even as a youth, he showed an interest in science and music. After graduating from Brooklyn Technical High School, he attended the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where he studied science and music. Although his initial goal was to become a doctor, his passion for art and music determined his future path. In the early 1960s, Brickman began his career as a musician, playing banjo in a folk band called the Tarriers. He later joined the New Journeymen, which featured John and Michelle Phillips, future founders of the Mamas and the Papas. However, Brickman soon switched to writing, working on television shows including Candid Camera, The Tonight Show, and The Dick Cavett Show. His collaboration with Woody Allen was a key stage in his career. Together, they wrote the scripts for such cult films as Sleeper, 1973, Annie Hall, 1977, and Manhattan, 1979. Brickman and Allen won an Oscar for their script for Annie Hall, and the film went down in history as one of the best romantic comedies. Members of the Writers Guild of America later called this script the funniest in history. In the 1980s, Marshall tried his hand at directing, making the films Simon, 1980, Lovers, 1983, and The Manhattan Project, 1986. His directorial work, like his screenplays, was distinguished by its intellectual depth and wit. Brickman has also had great success on the stage. He co-wrote the book with Rick Ellis for the Broadway musical Jersey Boys about the Four Seasons. The musical was a huge hit, and they later collaborated on The Addams Family, 2010, which was also well received by audiences. Marshall's personal life was spent with his wife, Nina Feinberg, whom he married in 1973. They had two daughters who always remained an important part of his life. Marshall Brickman was a master of his craft whose work has remained relevant for decades thanks to its intellectual subtlety, humor, and unique vision. His contributions to film, television, and theater continue to inspire, and his name will forever be etched in the history of the arts. Nicholas Pryor, American actor. Known for his roles in iconic films and television series, he died on December 7, 2024, at the age of 89. His death marked the end of a nearly 70-year acting career that brought him recognition from audiences and colleagues. Born Nicholas David Probst on January 28, 1935 in Baltimore, Maryland, Pryor graduated from Yale University in 1956, where he developed an interest in theater. He began his career on Broadway before moving to television and film. His early work on stage helped him develop a skill that would soon bring him success on a larger scale. Pryor has appeared in over 170 films and TV series, which is a testament to his hard work and versatility. Among his most notable roles is that of Tom Cruise's character's father in Risky Business, 1983. His portrayal of a strict but caring parent has been remembered by many viewers. Another iconic role was his work in the comedy Airplane, 1980, where he demonstrated a talent for satirical humor. Nicholas also made a mark on television. He appeared in popular series such as Beverly Hills, 90210, where he played Arthur Harrison, and the soap opera Port Charles. His acting was always characterized by depth and sincerity, which made his characters memorable. Pryor's personal life was closely tied to his profession. In 1993, he married actress Christina Belford, and their marriage lasted until his last days. He is survived by his daughter Stacey Pryor, who is also an artist, and two grandchildren, August and Avril. During his long career, Nicholas Pryor became an example of dedication to his craft. Despite his success, he always remained humble and devoted to the art, inspiring new actors with his example. His contribution to the world of cinema and television will be remembered for many years, and his roles will remain in the hearts of viewers as symbols of sincerity and professionalism. Niels Airstrup, a distinguished French-Danish actor, whose roles in film and theater won the hearts of millions of viewers, died on December 1, 2024, at the age of 75. His passing was a loss to the world of art, where he left an indelible mark with his powerful and memorable roles. Born on February 8, 1949, in Montreuil, France, to a Danish father and a mother from Brittany, Airstrup showed an interest in the arts from a young age, which led him to study at the drama school of Tanja Balachova, one of the most influential teachers of the time. It was there that he laid the foundations of his acting career, beginning with stage productions, where he gradually gained a reputation as a deeply dramatic and charismatic actor. His cinematic career began in the 1970s, but his real fame came in the 2000s thanks to his collaboration with director Jacques Audiard. In the films My Heart Has Stopped Beating, 2005, and A Prophet, 2009, Airstrup played roles that became the standard of skill and depth. For these works, he received the César Award for Best Supporting Actor, strengthening his status as one of the best actors of his time. He won a third César in 2013 for the film Quai d'Orsay, once again proving his versatility and talent. His international recognition expanded with his performance in Steven Spielberg's War Horse, 2011, where he showcased his unique acting style, combining French dramatic school with a more universal approach. In addition to film, Airstrup has continued to work actively in the theater, winning the Molière Award in 2020 for his role in the play Red. However, his career was not without scandals. Colleagues, including Isabelle Adjani and Miriam Boyer, accused Airstrup of abuse on set. Although the lawsuits did not go far, the conflict with Boyer ended with compensation in her favor. These events did not diminish his contribution to art but left an ambiguous mark on his biography. The French Minister of Culture praised his magnetic presence on screen and ability to bring to life the most complex and profound characters. Colleagues and fans remember him as a man who always gave himself to his work with complete dedication, which made his work inimitable. Niels Airstrup is survived by his wife, Isabelle Lenouvelle, who supported him in his final years. His contributions to the arts continue to inspire actors and directors, and his performances will remain in the hearts of audiences as examples of excellence and the strength of the human spirit. Peter John Sinfield, British poet, songwriter, and one of the pioneers of progressive rock, passed away on November 14, 2024, at the age of 80. His contributions to the music industry, particularly to the establishment of the progressive rock genre, left an indelible mark, and his lyrics and ideas continue to inspire musicians and listeners around the world. Sinfield was born on December 27, 1943, in London. From an early age, he showed an interest in poetry and music, drawing inspiration from classical literature and art. In 1968, he co-founded the band King Crimson with guitarist Robert Fripp. It was Peter Sinfield's lyrics that provided the unique character of the band's early albums, including the iconic debut album In the Court of the Crimson King, 1969. His lyrics, rich in imagery, metaphors, and philosophical themes, made King Crimson one of the leaders of progressive rock. In addition to writing lyrics, Sinfield was responsible for the band's light show, which added a unique visual element to their performances. However, in 1971, he left King Crimson due to creative differences with Robert Fripp, which opened the door for him to pursue solo projects and collaborate with other musicians. After leaving King Crimson, Peter Sinfield began collaborating with Emerson, Lake, and Palmer, for whom he wrote lyrics for songs such as Pirates and Carn Evil 9. In 1973, he released his only solo album, Still, which was highly praised for its unique style combining poetry and music. In the following years, Sinfield continued to write lyrics for various artists, including Celine Dion and Cher, demonstrating his versatility and talent. His work on Celine Dion's Think Twice became an international hit, reaffirming his status as a prominent songwriter. Although his name is often associated with progressive rock, Sinfield's work goes far beyond the genre. His lyrics, rich in emotion and philosophical reflection, remain relevant today. Peter Sinfield's death was a loss to the music world, but his legacy lives on through his work. He left behind not only a rich catalog of music, but also an inspiration for future generations of artists. Sinfield was not just a songwriter, but a true poet of his time, whose lyrics touched the deepest strings of the soul. Ron Ely, a famous American actor, who achieved worldwide fame for his role as Tarzan in the 1960s television series, died on November 29, 2024, at the age of 86. His death was the result of terminal heart disease, ending a long life filled with both triumphs and tragedies. Ron Ely was born on June 21, 1938, in Hereford, Texas. From childhood, he demonstrated a love for sports and the arts. After graduating from the University of Austin, Ely decided to try his hand at acting. He made his debut in the late 1950s and quickly gained attention due to his charismatic appearance and natural charm. Ely is best known for his role as Tarzan in the NBC television series that ran from 1966 to 1968. The series, in which Ron performed all of his own stunts, was a huge hit, making him a cult figure of his time. His portrayal of Tarzan, strong and noble, remains one of the most recognizable in television history. Following the success of the series, Ely continued to act, appearing in films and television shows, including projects such as Doc Savage, The Man of Bronze, 1975. In addition to his acting career, he distinguished himself as a writer, creating several detective novels that were warmly received by readers. However, Ely's final years were marred by personal tragedies. In October 2019, his wife, Valerie Landon Ely, was murdered by their son, Cameron, in their California home. Cameron was then shot to death by police. The event shook not only Ron but his entire family, leaving deep scars. Despite the hardships he endured, Ely remained strong and continued to live with dignity. His daughter, Kirsten Ely, remembered her father as a loving and caring man who was always there for his loved ones and inspired others with his resilience. Ron Ely left behind a rich legacy that includes not only his acting work, but also his fortitude and dedication to the arts. His contributions to the entertainment industry and his role as Tarzan will be remembered for many years to come. Shel Talmy, legendary music producer, whose name became synonymous with the golden era of British rock in the 1960s, died on November 13, 2024, aged 87. His death in Los Angeles from complications following a stroke was a great loss to the world of music, where he left an indelible mark on the development of rock music and its sound. Born August 11, 1937, in Chicago, Talmy began his career in the music industry in Los Angeles. Working as a recording engineer, he mastered the recording techniques that would later become his signature style. In 1962, Talmy moved to London, where he quickly established a reputation as one of the most innovative independent producers of his time. Shel Talmy is best known for his work with iconic bands like The Kinks and The Who. His production of The Kinks' classic hit, You Really Got Me, not only brought the band to the spotlight, but was also a key moment in the birth of hard rock. Talmy was also behind The Who's iconic song My Generation, which became an anthem for 1960s youth culture. His unique approach to recording, which included an emphasis on powerful guitar riffs and energetic vocals, shaped the sound that became a hallmark of British rock. In addition to The Kinks and The Who, Talmy worked with the likes of Manfred Mann, the Easy Beats, and even David Bowie early in his career. His ability to spot potential in young musicians and create innovative sounds earned him a reputation as one of the greatest producers of his time. In the late 1970s, Talmy returned to Los Angeles, where he continued his career in the music industry and began writing. His contributions to music have been recognized by critics and peers, and his name has often been cited as one of the pioneers who changed the direction of rock music. Talmy's personal life included his wife, John, daughter, Jonna Sargent, and granddaughter, Shay Berg. His family supported him throughout his career and remained an important part of his life. Shel Talmy left a legacy that cannot be overstated. His work continues to inspire musicians and producers, and his name will go down in history as a symbol of an era that defined the sound of rock music. His contribution to music was not just technical, but also emotional. He helped artists realize their potential and created works that remain relevant to this day. Steve Harwell, the charismatic frontman and voice of the rock band Smash Mouth, passed away on September 29, 2024, at the age of 56. His death was due to acute liver failure, which was a tragic end to a bright and memorable musical career. Born January 9, 1967 in Santa Clara, California, Steve began his musical career as a rapper in the group FOS, Freedom of Speech, but his real fame came after founding Smash Mouth in 1994. Together with bassist Paul Delisle, guitarist Greg Camp, and drummer Kevin Coleman, he created a band that quickly gained attention for its unique style, which combined pop rock, ska, and punk rock. Smash Mouth's debut album, *Fush You Mong*, 1997, marked the beginning of their rise. The hit *Walkin' on the Sun* immediately climbed the charts, making the band known on an international stage. However, their real breakthrough came with the release of their second album, *Astro Lounge*, 1999, which included the iconic single All Star. The song became an anthem of the late 1990s and early 2000s, appearing in numerous films including Shrek, TV shows, and internet memes, making it a cultural phenomenon. Smash Mouth continued their success by covering the Monkees' I'm a Believer for the Shrek soundtrack in 2001. The move not only cemented their popularity, but also brought in a new audience, including children and families who had come to love their music through the film. However, Harwell's journey was not only full of successes, but also overshadowed by difficulties. Health problems began to affect his life and career. In October 2021, after a series of strange incidents on stage and deteriorating health, Steve announced his retirement from music. His departure from the band marked the end of an era for Smash Mouth fans. Harwell's death was a huge loss for the music world. He left behind not only a rich legacy of hits that continue to play at parties and on the radio, but also an example of a man who lived music and dedicated his entire life to it. His energy, charisma, and inimitable style will remain in the memories of millions of listeners. Steve Harwell will forever remain the voice of an era, a symbol of the joy and freedom that his music gave. Nancy Pelosi, a prominent American politician, and the first female Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, left a lasting mark on her country's history. Her career spans decades of hard work, unprecedented achievements, and dedication to serving the public interest. Born March 26, 1940, in Baltimore, Maryland, Nancy came from a family with deep political roots. Her father, Thomas D'Alessandro Jr., was a congressman and mayor of Baltimore, which exposed Nancy to an atmosphere of public service from an early age. She was the youngest of 6 children and the only daughter, which forged her character and drive to succeed. After graduating from Trinity College in Washington, Nancy married Paul Pelosi and moved with him to San Francisco. The couple had 5 children, but Nancy was not limited to the role of a housewife. She actively engaged in politics, heading the California Democratic Party and working on local issues. In 1987, Pelosi was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives from California. Her rapid rise led her to the post of Democratic Minority Leader in 2003. In 2007, she made history as the first female Speaker of the House. In that position, she played a key role in the passage of several significant pieces of legislation, including the Affordable Care Act and measures to recover from the 2008 financial crisis. Her leadership has been met with both support and criticism, but she has consistently demonstrated decisiveness and negotiating skills even in the face of stiff opposition. After the 2010 election, when Democrats lost their majority, she continued to serve as minority leader until 2019, when she returned to the speakership. Her second term has been marked by historic challenges, including the impeachment of Donald Trump and the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Pelosi's personal life has also drawn public attention. In 2022, her family was thrust into the spotlight after her husband, Paul Pelosi, was attacked in their San Francisco home. The incident was a reminder of the country's tense political climate, but Pelosi remained resilient and determined. In November 2022, Nancy Pelosi announced her resignation as the leader of the Democratic caucus, making way for a new generation of leaders. However, she remains an influential figure in American politics, a symbol of change and an inspiration to many women aspiring to leadership. Her name will forever remain in history as an example not only of female leadership, but also of the perseverance with which she advanced the principles of equality, social justice, and public service.